Chopping It Up with Booby. Episode number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're here with Kevin. Here we go, we start the show. Alright, so I met Kevin through mutual, clients and mutual friends. And I figured he would be a good guest on the show today because he has a good story. So, introduce yourself, Kev, to everybody.
So guys, my name is Kevin. I'm 22. I've been living in San Diego for just shy of 3 years. But basically a little bit about me, kind of what I do is I have a sales team where I manage a team about probably around 20 people. It's always varying, but probably around 20 people right now for door-to-door solar. So I manage a door-to-door sales team for solar, and then I also have a fitness business that right now the main focus is online coaching. So I'm an online coach, and basically, provide, workout
COVID
programs.
Coach.
Yep, yeah. So that's all new since COVID is when I kind of became an online coach. I really kind of did it a lot more than what I used to. So since COVID, coaching kind of just popped off, and now I kind of do both. So I do the fitness coaching, and then I also do the sales team, and then now we're branching into apparel as well, which I'm really excited about. That's kind of what I've really always wanted to get into, but COVID was just such a good opportunity for the online coaching. I just couldn't ignore it. So, but yeah, that's pretty much what I do right now.
So the clothing you have now, that was probably what I guess at the end it was your main goal. And
so,
what's the clothing, or what's the name, and what's the clothing? And
before COVID, I had, the clothing. I had already gotten samples. I was interested in clothing. I never even thought of doing online coaching. It wasn't ever really a thought. Yeah, and then it's just...
So before COVID, this wasn't, you weren't trying to do online coaching?
Yeah, it was Uprise Fitness. That's the brand, by the way. It's called Uprise Fitness. But I wasn't trying to do coaching. I was just wanted to, build a brand similar to Gymshark and Athlete, but just, make it better, make it mine. And stuff.
Ooh,
so
make it better.
But yeah, so then COVID happened, and then I couldn't do door-to-door solar anymore. So then I was like, okay, well, I'm not just I didn't have anything to do, so I'm like, online coaching seems to be a good path. I knew some buddies who were killing it in it, so I kind of talked to them, talked to my mentor, and then he's like, yeah, definitely do it. So that's kind of how I got into that, and that took off, and now it's honestly making a lot. Well, it's probably comparable to what I make with solar.
So you have two incomes now, basically. That's what you're trying. Yeah. Hell yeah.
So
during COVID too.
Yeah, and it's actually one thing with that is with COVID, the day I couldn't knock, the day I said, oh, we can't go to work today, that's the same day I got 3 clients that same day. So I just reached out. I'm like, okay, we're doing this. Got off from my mentor. DM'd some people, made a post on Instagram, got 3 clients. Didn't really know what I was doing. Mm-hmm. Kind of slowly figured it out. I just take action first and then figure it out second. So yeah, honestly, got those clients. We're just working really hard with them, and then I was just seeking out people who were killing it. And then one of my friends, he did he had 50 clients or something, and I was like, how do you have 50 clients when I didn't have any systems. It was literally just me and paper. Okay. So I'm like, how do you handle 50 clients? I can hardly handle 3. And then he just showed me the system. So yeah, kind of just met with people who are already there. We're already killing it. So
that's awesome. So for you, right? Cause I know for a fact that there's I don't know if there's a million, but I'll just say 1,000 online fucking fitness programs right now.
Yeah.
What in your eyes? What separates you from them, and I'll just say what makes you, I guess, quote unquote, better than those other programs?
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing, the biggest separator is client acquisition. And I think a lot of people, because I know a lot of trainers who have been a trainer for so long, and they have all the certifications, they have all the schooling, they went to college, got a exercise and science degree, they have a NASM certification, they have all of this stuff. And they're still hardly making any money. They're, sometimes they're still doing it in person, or they're doing kind of just, online, but not doing it really well. So, it's just where I kind of just knew, from doing sales and stuff, I knew I wanted a high ticket offer. I knew I couldn't be doing in person. One, because of COVID, obviously.
Yes.
But then too, just because you can't trade time for money, and I always understood that.
Ooh, that's
So
a
when
good
it
one.
so when it came time to actually start the business, I knew it was gonna be kind of a high ticket. It's $9.97. It's not super high. We're gonna raise prices soon because our systems are getting so much better. But it's $9.97 for 90 days, and yeah, we definitely try to over deliver for everyone. But the main thing that separates us, I mean, I'd say is just how we acquire the clients. So and this is gonna be. So I'm naturally lazy, like with everything. Like I try, stuff is too hard.
I like how you admit that though. You know, the first step is in the middle, right?
Yeah, and I was getting clients on Instagram. I got 3 right off the bat, but that's it. I didn't get any more for a week. So I'm like, fuck, Instagram is not working. I tried messaging followers and I hated that.
And why did you hate that, if you don't mind?
Because I don't think it's like, you know, genuine. You're messaging your following base, trying to like get something from them. Like I hated it. So yeah, so basically I just like, there has to be an easier way. And then I tried even like dating apps like Tinder and stuff.
Wait. So you did
so then
dating apps? Okay.
Yeah, so then I tried dating apps, see if that would work, and I'd go on Tinder, swipe, and like, hey, looking for a fitness coach. I was doing it with girls, so every time I'd say that, they'd think I'd call them fat.
Well, you kind of are. No?
Yeah.
Well,
I saw that.
If they didn't need a fitness coach, they don't.
I thought it would work better than it did, but yeah, so that didn't work.
Like,
yeah, so that didn't work. I was just trying to think, you know, something to be easier, and then I was on the phone call with my buddy, and he's like, he was joking completely, but I took it seriously. He was like, bro, have you heard of an app called Grindr?
Okay.
I'm like, no, what's Grindr?
Okay.
And he's like, it's like a gay Tinder. I'm like, okay. He's like, you should advertise on there. And he was just completely joking. And I hung up the phone and I just thought about it, downloaded the app and like just wanted to see what it was like. And I put my profile as, you know, fitness coach with a profile picture of me. And then I just like, it's the equivalent of swiping. It's just like you do a little fire symbol. And then they'll all message you. And then I just first message I say, no matter what they say to me, I say, hey, you looking for a fitness coach? Hey, looking for, and just say the same thing to a ton of people.
So that's just your first and only response.
Yeah, I don't say anything, like a robot.
Okay.
So they know what I'm there for right off the bat.
Okay.
And then I got 8 clients in 72 hours. And then ever since that, I built a sales team of people doing that for me. Got 15 to 20.
On that platform.
Got
they
15.
didn't sponsor you, bro.
Got 15 to 20 people messaging on Grindr for me. I did it myself for about a month.
Okay.
And then I was just, I hate this. I'm sick of it. I hate messaging. I hated it, especially on Grindr. Obviously, I'm not gonna like that. But it was really effective. And then I built a sales team of maybe like 15 people, and they all did messaging for me. Which was a win-win. I mean, they were all looking for jobs during COVID, and then this is like, you work from home just whenever you want, just hop on there, usually at night, it's most active, and just message people, and then set me up with Zoom calls, and then I close them and stuff and pay them commission. So that's kind of how that works.
Wow. That's like really,
that's
really thinking outside the box. Like I would never, like, you know what, that's like, I don't know if that's an untapped market, but.
Yeah. So yeah, we got it really systemized, and then like, pretty much we can get unlimited leads with that.
Unlimited? Wow.
Like it's pretty, like we haven't even left San Diego, and you can go to New York, you can go to all these places. I think you can even go across the country. I mean like across to like Europe and stuff. So
I mean it's the online thing too, so you could, the reach is anywhere at this point. You just gotta.
And it's also cool because people on there, I have one client who was on there, he's gone on to lose about 70 pounds. He, I don't think that dude would have ever looked for a coach. Like it's kind of because it's kind of like me knocking on someone's door for solar. Yes. It's kind of like because like, I don't know, he's on a dating app. He's not looking for fitness coaching. But we approached him with it, and then he's like, you know, probably reflected on himself how he needs to be better and stuff, and then, you know, we were able to get him. He's lost 70 pounds, so that's pretty
awesome.
Cool.
So that worked out for him. It worked out for both you guys.
Yeah.
For both parties.
Yeah, and I think that's when people get it wrong. They think when, you know, make money, someone has to lose. You know, a lot of people, as I've seen in this election, I've really noticed how a lot of people think like that, and how a lot of people think like money's evil, rich people are evil, you know, stuff like that. And then,
it's very misconstrued. Don't get me wrong. You know what I mean?
It's like you're trading value.
Yeah. It's not because, like, you know what? Because at the same time, it's just like it's a stereotype at that point, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, they're all out for each other. Well, you don't know that.
Yeah.
You can't base that on just because one guy is doing this and one person is doing this and now everyone's like that. You know, you're passing quick judgment. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's fucked up. But that's dope that, as a young entrepreneur as yourself, like, you're able to fucking think like legit, like outside the box, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like. It's like I
Yeah.
don't know how like. So is there any other ways that you get clients besides this app, or you
like we can expand into Facebook ads. We've thought of it. Obviously, I've done e-com in the past, so I know how to do Facebook ads, but that
So
costs
would you
money.
consider that?
That costs money, and Grindr doesn't cost anything. So when it comes to getting clients, I mean, we don't really need to expand from Grindr. I mean, later we will probably. But right now, I mean, I thought it would be kind of cool to just like make a YouTube video in a year and say how I built a 7-figure business using Grindr and not going on any dates.
You know what? That's gonna be something.
Or something like that.
Cause it's gonna be something like that. Cause like if you could probably have female trainers and do the opposite the other way too, right?
Oh, 100%.
So I mean,
yeah, that's kind of what I'm experimenting with now, is getting other people and teaching them how to do it. But I think I want to bring them on as like a trainer for Uprise and stuff.
Okay, so Uprise.
I was thinking of originally like teaching people how to do their fitness business, but then I wanted to, which would be like a separate endeavor, but at the end of the day I wanted to build Uprise coaching, so then have female trainers. I'm still playing around with that. I have two, Danny works for me like basically full time. I don't know if you know Danny. You know Danny, I think.
I don't know her like that, but I know her.
Yeah, so she works for me. She's doing Grindr and like organizing everything and stuff, so she's awesome.
That's awesome, because you need a team to do this, because like you said, you can only do so much by yourself.
Yeah, that's what I learned. I was on a guy from my mastermind, I was on the phone with him, and he was just talking about how it's so hard to find good people, and I'm like, well, yeah, and then I mean like, well, I had Danny like all this time. She was kind of doing it part-time. It's like, and I had got on call with Danny. I'm like, whatever I need to pay you to get you full-time, like, I'm doing it, like,
because it's worth it.
Yeah,
the value is
like,
worth
the
it.
value,
like
whatever I gotta pay you to be like with 2,000, 3,000 a month. What do you want? I mean, not a month, week. Sorry,
but
not a month.
But damn, you're a freaking slave owner, man.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Kev.
Yeah. No, but yeah. So now, I mean, we're just originally, to be honest, I got burnt out from it like a month and a half ago. Recently, I just kind of kickstarted getting new clients. This is the first week I've been kind of acquiring new clients because I just got burnt out from it. We had probably 50 clients.
Damn, dude.
So I got burnt out from it. Now I almost quit on it, because I was just so burnt out from it. Like, I don't know if I want to build this. Let's just do clothing. But then now I'm kind of in the mindset I want to build it to 7 figures, because I know
the potential.
I know the potential that it has with the short time that I've had it.
So it's just about just putting the time in now at this point.
So,
right? It's a lot of people don't understand that either. You gotta put the time in, man. Like,
and I think
it's not gonna happen overnight.
And I think that's where the solar. I mean, I did solar for 3 years, and then this COVID opportunity just kind of opened that door. So COVID is one of the best things that ever happened to me, and a lot of the people that I see, I think a lot of people with the growth mindsets, just in general, it's been really, really good for them. And a lot of people who don't have growth mindsets and don't look at it the way that we do, I think it's been detrimental for them.
Oh no, especially during a time like this, right? Because since a lot of stuff's been shut down, and a lot of opportunities for people has been, taken away. Like, just like you found another way.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I just basically what it comes down to. Like, you gotta take what you have and fucking make something out of it.
Yeah.
And that's legit. Like, I tell people, like, this whole COVID is a blessing and a curse, man.
Yeah.
Depending on how you look at it, bro. It's fucking crazy.
I mean, you can tell a lot about. Just see how everyone like handled it. You can tell a lot about them. Kind of, how much of a hustler they are. I'd say. 'Cause, I mean, all these opportunities have opened up, and I think a lot of Americans probably just saw opportunities just clothing, and they weren't even looking at the other side.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anyone's involved in the stock market, but in March, my gosh, like, that was, I mean, you could invest in anything, and you'd be, like, probably 5x right now.
Yeah, exactly. But then again, like, who would have thought that this whole economy would have been fucked up for this long, So, I mean, if you had the intuition, then fucking good on you, but, like, at the same time, motherfuckers losing money, losing jobs, but at the end of the day, man, like, if you're a real hustler, like you said, man, you'll find a way.
Yeah. Well, what it stemmed from, I didn't even go into this. I went completely broke March.
Really, completely
even though
zero.
I make zero. I was my expenses were high. I just invested more money in like a mastermind and stuff. and I've never really lived with much of a savings, not even really an emergency fund. I kind of just invest so much. Like I probably spent 50,000 in the last year just on like groups and stuff like that. Shit. So I had done that right before March. Then job gets cut immediately because this job, you know, I relies on, I don't know, 4 to 6K a week on average. And so all of a sudden, like I don't think I have to save because I'm just gonna make another 4 to 6,000 next week. And then all of a sudden that gets cut. Like, shit. So that's really when I had a 28. I ran up a credit card to 4,800 with a $2,800 limit. So it was over.
How the fuck do you do that, dude?
I don't know. All right. But yeah, no. So that's the situation I was where I had to start the fitness business, and that's why I like moved on it the same day. And
so you're not doing solar anymore.
No, I do both.
Oh wow, so you're still hustling.
Like later today, I'm gonna be knocking doors.
Oh, you're a fucking gangster. Dude.
So I was just like, I made a video on my Instagram, actually IGTV yesterday about it. I was very tempted.
Later, it's probably gonna be somewhere around here.
But yeah, no, I was very tempted to. In about, I'm trying to think when the call was. Maybe in like June, I called up the CEO, told him what I was doing, like of the solar company, and he's had my best. Like we're homies. I mean, I manage his sales team of his best branch, so
that's pretty dope.
But yeah, I was just talking to him about it, and he was, you know, he obviously like he discouraged me from, but he also has my best interest in mind. I don't think he was just looking out for like his company and stuff. And he's just like, he has multiple companies too, and like they all feed off of each other. And that's when I realized like I only knock for 4 hours a day. Okay. So if I got rid of that, and that's 4 to 6K a week in 4 hours a day.
Holy shit.
So it's really effective, and that's partially it's also because I manage the team, so I make a little more there. Okay. But yeah, so it's super effective, and then, you know, to just give up that, like those extra 4 hours, I really just realized there's only so much I can do to build this business, and 4 hours is not going to be like detrimental. Yeah, it's not going to be. It's not going to really make me build my business faster because it takes time to get clients. It takes, you know, money to build the business. So it's like, okay, well.
So I'd
also have to pool money from the coaching. So now, like my business accounts, I have never taken a single like personal expense off of that.
Nice.
And I'm very because I mean, I just thought it was very clear. He kind of pointed out to me, if you have two businesses and one person has to, you know, make their living expenses plus grow the business versus someone who doesn't need to make a profit at all, like for their living. Or they can reinvest all profits and they don't have to take any money out for food, groceries,
that's ideal.
anything. Yeah, then it's ideal, and you don't have to, you know, worry about anything really. So yeah, I was really tempted. I kind of had that ego trip of being an entrepreneur. It's like, oh, go all in on yourself. But then it's like doing that. Yes, I'd only have my own business, but I'd also be making half of what I currently make, and thus making the business grow even slower. So the story post yesterday was just, I think a lot of people have this thing where they want to be an entrepreneur and they kind of are against jobs and think jobs are bad and like have this kind of weird thing around jobs. And when you look at Ed Milet, Andy Frisella, these big guys that we all look up to now, they worked every job they could when they were building their business to make their business succeed as fast as possible. And I think a lot of people would just want to work on their business, even though if they have extra time, they're still tied to being an entrepreneur, not having a job, kind of that entrepreneur lifestyle of not having a traditional job, and then they make their business grow slower because they have less money. So if you have, I always just say, if you have extra time and you don't have extra money, then you should definitely pick up another job, sales job, whatever.
That makes sense. Like one funds the other.
Yeah.
Or one helps funding the other. You know
I mean, otherwise, I mean, this is obviously speaking from a person who wants to grow their business. If you're not interested in entrepreneurship, then obviously that's not, we're not telling you how to live, but I'm just saying if you want to grow your business.
I mean, it just sounds,
if you have extra,
sounds like it would work better.
If you have extra time and you're not making money with that, it's probably better to do that.
But that's maximizing your time at that point, you know what I'm saying? So that's a crazy concept, because like you said, entrepreneurs are like, yo, fuck everything. I'm just gonna 100% into me. Like, I mean, that's cool. I mean, and if you're gonna be entrepreneur, you should be like that.
You should be able to have the work ethic to do a job and your business.
Okay, and there you go. That's like the
I think there's very few businesses that require 18-hour days, like every day. Like,
that's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
I mean, I know a lot of the very successful people. What's his name? It's Kevin Son. He's a big YouTuber and entrepreneur dude. I mean, he works 4 hours. He's just super effective in his business 4 hours.
But that's what it is, right? It's just super effective.
Yeah, working more throughout the day, I don't think is always gonna like.
It doesn't equal
business results. Yeah, not at all.
It's working smarter, not harder at that point.
Yeah.
So I believe that. I totally believe that. Like, you know, you don't have to work freaking like these day traders and stuff like that. They're there for like 2 hours or some shit. You're making freaking $10,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever the money is. But also you gotta think about the risk involved in that as well too. It's not guaranteed money. I'm gonna get this like 10,000 every day. It's just, and you have no control over the market. It is what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I get your theory. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy that the fact that no one else. Well, I'm not saying no one else, but not a lot of people take that into consideration. You know what I'm saying? It's like one hand watches the other. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna need that sooner or later.
Yeah.
That income, that flow, right?
Yeah. One of the other things known just from managing the team and seeing all the people come in and out and seeing how they work the job. When I first was into sales and I did not do anything like before the fitness business, like we have a 4 hour a day minimum, which we have to hit. But when I was, I didn't. When I didn't have anything else. Like I'm looking at my day, like what's producing money? Because I want to get rich. What's producing money? If it's not producing money, why am I like doing that more often than like other stuff? So I see a lot of people, they'll work the 4 hours and they don't have anything else that produces money in their life, and they have these goals and aspirations, and they work the 4 hours and like they're done. I'm like, I was doing like 8 to 10 hour days every single day because I, knew I needed that money. So it's just making sure just for me, I think I've just always made sure when I'm awake, I'm basically almost every single activity I'm doing is making money.
You're just being productive.
Yeah.
Like
at this stage in my life, obviously there's gonna be parts where maybe I focus a little less on. I think everything's indirectly gonna make you money, because if I'm not making money in the moment, I'm gonna be working on systems or making the product better that will in turn later make it money, but maybe not right then. So.
I mean, as long as it's like you said, like you're reinvesting into yourself or your business or whatever the case may be. That's basically what that is. It's just like, over time, what's it called? Like you reap what you sow. Right?
Yeah.
So if it's not gonna hit now, just give it some time. And I think that's another thing of being an entrepreneur is like time. Is like they want shit now. They want that instant gratification, like now, but it's not always gonna happen.
Yeah. I think you have to have that too. I think a lot of they have the impatience of it, which makes them take action quickly, but they also have impatience maybe in like daily tasks, but patience long term.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So I know I have to stick this out for years, but like every single day I want it to happen now. Like why?
Of course. Cause I'm not saying that you're eating shit now, but like. Yeah. A lot of people in the beginning, they eat shit. They have nothing. They're like fucking.
Yeah, I definitely was.
So, I mean, at that point, it's just what do you do? What do you sacrifice, or what's the next move?
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's some crazy shit.
And if you look at the majority of people, you think about what they're sacrificing. First thing most people will sacrifice is their dream. So it's like, oh, it's too hard, it's too long hours, I'm not doing it, it's 3 hours, it's been 3 years, haven't made it. It's like, first thing they'll sacrifice is their dream before they make like other sacrifices. So I've never understood. I've had people, I did summer sales for a little bit, and I had some of those people. It's a summer sales, so it's a little different, where everyone kind of does sales during the summer to pay for their college and stuff.
Okay.
And I noticed a lot of these people were making more money doing their sales, and then they went back to college to work a job that I talked to them that they're not gonna like, and probably makes less than if they stuck out sales. I just never understood that. I mean, I think it is just less certain, which I think a lot of people have kind of struggled with. But I always look at it like this. I think I gave this analogy. Maybe I gave it to you a while ago, but like if you gave yourself 30 years, you can plug anything in here you want, but for me, I'm gonna do clothing. If you gave yourself 30 years, do you think you could build a successful clothing business in 30 years?
I would hope so. Fuck, that's a lot of time.
And if you ask it like that, I think a lot of people are gonna be, of course.
Yeah.
But then, like on the day to day, they're like, I don't know if this is gonna work. I don't know if am I doing this right? But then like 30 years working every single day towards this goal. Could you make a successful clothing line? Like, could you?
I'm pretty sure.
And you can plug anything. You can do anything in there, really. And I think most people are gonna hear that question and say, of course. But then they get, too drowned into the day-to-day tasks of it, and then they get discouraged and stuff. So
I could see that fucking happening. That could definitely happen because, like like you said, like when you say 30 years, you already fucking projecting 30 years. Like, damn, in 30 years, I should be a fucking billionaire if I'm doing that shit, So like, you're right. I mean, the whole day-to-day stuff like that is very important too. right? Because you have to worry about that shit to build into that 30 years.
Yeah, and you're comparing it to maybe the job they would do, which they'd work for 40 years.
Yes.
So it's like at the same time, if you put your like at the end of that, you know, you're multi-millionaire, obviously.
But at that, you know what's crazy about that, Kim, is like people have. I mean, the American society had that always that picture like you go to college, you get a degree, you work for 20 years, 30 years, you retire, and you're fucking set.
Yeah.
But nowadays, the American dream ain't like that no more.
Yeah, I think it just evolves every. It just evolves every, you know, 10, generation or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the American dream
It was,
back
right?
in the day,
It was.
education and stuff. But now, education.
I'm not saying education's not the way to go.
I'm not saying I'm pro education, but I think the education they give you is crap.
Yeah.
I think it's more extremely expensive, sets you up for a ton of loans if you don't do it right.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
that's fucked up.
You know, if you're majoring in business, why are you learning about all these random subjects? Like, you want to become an expert in that, you know, field. So I just like, you know, that's where my parents disagreed.
I feel where you're coming from, and I feel where your parents are coming from, because they have that. They want you to be secured, right? That's that's almost like.
They're not coming from it from a negative place. They want the best for you, obviously.
Yeah, but still, at the same time, it's like, yo, like you said, it's generational, right? At that point. Like, your parents are gonna say, like, yo, you sitting here doing online fucking courses and making money. Like, how the fuck are you sitting in your ass making money? Like, yo, dad.
Yeah, my grandpa didn't understand. I always like having these conversations just because it's so polarizing, and it's like crazy to think that they, you know, think like they had a conversation with my grandpa, and something about how one of my friends, what he's making, like I think it was like 1.2 million a month. He's an e-com dude.
Holy fuck.
And I was talking to him, and my grandpa's just like, no one makes that. Like,
no one makes that.
And he's just like, and I didn't really argue with him.
A month? Holy crap.
And I didn't really argue with him just because I know where he's coming from, that it's just so hard for someone like that old school to comprehend. Like he was a successful, like he had his own accounting firm and stuff like that. And he made good money, 6 figures back in the day though. That's 7 figures now.
Yeah.
So if you really look at it like that, so yeah, it's kind of just hard for them to imagine that. So I was just use it as much. I just think it's, you know, funny, especially like when they say like it's not positive. I always leave, you know, time with my family just like probably 10 times as motivated as I was. So that's why I'm looking forward to the holidays.
Oh shit! Like, yeah.
Because I'll say stuff just to make people doubt me. I think that's one thing that I do that's kind of different, I guess. Is I'll say things in a very blunt manner. Like I won't give an explanation of how I'm doing it, or you know, anything like that. I'll just say I'm gonna do this, and then I'll just see the looks on people's faces, and it'll just make it.
And that serves as motivation.
It worked. Yeah, I know Jason Capital used this similar thing. He'd kind of do the exact same thing with like high level people. He'd kind of tell them what he wanted to do without giving like a real good explanation of how, so they'd kind of look at him weird, and then he used that as motivation. So I kind of have been doing what he's done.
That's a crazy concept though. That's like a in your face type of shit, right? I kind of like that.
I think people, I don't know what they complain about, like, oh, so and so doesn't believe in me. One, if you're just starting out, I don't know why anyone would believe in you unless you've done something. Like,
okay, you don't have a track
record to do stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I don't think, I think you just have to leverage that.
But how crazy is that though? Like, it's always that fucking initial like reactions, like, alright, so and so, hey grandpa, I'm gonna do this. Nah, you ain't gonna do that.
Yeah.
Like, why is it the other way? Like,
I think you keep asking why.
Yeah.
I've always been that annoying why kid, especially in school. Like, why? Why are we learning this? Why are we doing this?
Yeah. How's this gonna help me?
Yeah.
No, I feel you. I'm the same way. I'm definitely the same fucking way. That's why I'm doing this motherfucking podcast to ask mad fucking questions.
I think that's one of the most important questions. Just go through your life asking why, just in every situation. I think it's a very important question, especially like growing up. Like, why are they doing this? Like, who benefits from this? And just like having that ability to think for yourself, which a lot of people don't, and they just put on the mask of a sheep and just walk around however people tell them to.
and that's crazy too, because part of this whole podcast / show is like that the entrepreneurial spirit, and just like you said, like people being sheep. Like you said, like people don't want to think on their own, and I find that so fucking like, it's crazy to me that like, yo, they'll just follow, bro.
Yeah.
Like follow with with the ease, right? But they end up being like your grandpa, or like the older cats like that. But it's changing. It's changing. Like, yo, like you're doing online stuff. People are doing this e-commerce, just things online you could do from the seat and the couch of your house, bro. And you could be, you know, making income that like, you know, fund a lot of freaking things. So it's kind of crazy to me.
Yeah.
How crazy that it's evolving at a rapid rate at that, you know, and it's taking this whole COVID thing.
Yeah.
To like people hoping, I hope they understand that they're capable of doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is making everyone understand that like all these people who, because there's that time period where you'd have business owners who are like, an online business is not a business.
Yes.
And then now it's like the other way. It's like a brick and mortar business is not really a business.
That's like
like they're becoming not a business, like slowly. It'll always be there, of course, but just for that analogy, I think they're getting like now people are forced to go online when 10 years ago they were like, online business isn't a real business.
It's funny how they just retracted the statement, like how it changes, right? And how that it went from it's not a real thing to that's the only thing.
Yeah, and now it's like I gotta figure out this online stuff.
Yo, that's so funny, man. That's so funny because it became that. It became that, and some people are still against it. Don't get me wrong.
Overnight. I think this is the transition that we really needed for everyone to. You know, it's not obviously the most ideal transition, but it is definitely going to be a big difference. And I see things going forward, not in business, not really going back to the way they used to, especially with like these companies. They're just figuring out we don't have to have an office space. People were just as effective during COVID at home. So
that's what I'm saying. Like the productivity is still the same. Like now, big companies, they don't need an office space.
Yeah.
Right. They don't need.
And I think they also found out they need fewer employers. So if you're on track to be employed, especially in certain industries, I'd be pretty scared. I mean, I had one of my dad's friends. This is it's always funny to me because people are like, you know, entrepreneurship's scary, it's not secure, and all this stuff. And then one of my friends' one of my dad's friends, he's like 55 years old, been working for the same company for 30 years, and right when COVID hit, fired right away. He's out of a job. He's been working the same job, been dependent on them for his money his whole life, basically, or his whole recent life. So he doesn't know how to make money on his own now because he's been dependent on a company. I think the security comes when you're like, no matter what situation I get thrown in, I'm going to be able to make money and come out of this fine.
Yes. Because that was the excuse too.
Yeah.
Like for me becoming a barber, like yo, that industry ain't secure. Like you're not gonna make money. How do you know that? Like yo, you can work for any company right now. You work for like just say Coca-Cola. Like you said, shit hits a fan, boom, you're fired. You've been there for like you said 30 years. Oh man, doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah.
Like you're just another number. Now they're gonna hire someone that takes half your pay.
Yeah, and they're just gonna hire people for cheaper and just all this stuff. So
there is no real security, right?
Yeah. Unless security is with yourself.
Yeah, exactly. I see that and I believe that. I firmly believe that, yo. That's crazy, man. That's a crazy thought that people still don't even like acknowledge how crazy that is, you know?
Yeah, and that's why people, even what you're doing, cutting hair, just anything, like for me it's personal training. When I was a kid I wanted to be a personal trainer. That dream got killed really quick because it was career day. I go and see, okay, I want to be rich, but I like personal training. I want to see in a personal training, you know, they said they made like $24,000 a year. So I'm like, why are they comparing you to like average, or probably, I think that's even less than average. Why are they even comparing you to that? And like, do they not realize there's also multi-millionaires who are personal trainers? So I'm not aiming to be a subpar personal trainer.
I mean, I don't think anyone's. Like that, I hope no one's aiming to be subpar anything.
Yeah, that's why I hate career day. I think a lot of people, because like for me, that day going forward, I was no longer going to be a personal trainer or involved in fitness, which was what I wanted to do before that career day.
Wow.
So I think it screws it up for a lot of people.
Like, from that.
Well, I was doing for training. I mean, I always, as a career, I was always involved in fitness.
Okay.
But as an actual career of like doing it, I never really saw that until recently. I wanted to get in apparel, but still, and then COVID is just when I, kind of decided to be a trainer. Well, coach. I guess it's more of a coach than a trainer.
Damn, that's what's up. So, your online coach, solar panels, and your clothing company. Explain to me what materializes.
Coaching more than clothing right now. Clothing is one of those things. It's going to be slower, but I think long term, it's going to be the long term like wealth play is clothing, building an actual brand, which we're doing with the coaching as well. But I think it's just a lower ticket. You can reach more people and stuff like that. So I'm really excited for the coaching and like building these influencer teams and stuff like this. That's something I've looked at Gymshark and stuff and like I want to do that.
But what was about that made you want to get into that?
The camaraderie that they had all these like-minded people. They're all traveling over the world, filming stuff, having a good time, working out. Just, all growth-minded people, just living a really good life and just all around amazing people and just building something that's so big. And I don't know, I just really thought that was like really cool and unique.
No, but that is kind of crazy how just a clothing line, I don't know, actually I don't know what else they do, but just a clothing line itself that could bring all that together.
Yeah.
Right?
Like
it's
it makes it like a family.
It's
Yeah.
like a fucking community at that point.
Yeah, and then when you have certain brands, like Gymshark, usually something when you see a person wearing Gymshark, it's not a big enough brand. They haven't really, like, not a big enough brand as Nike yet. It's like, if you see someone wearing Gymshark, you kind of like, I don't know.
No, but if you're in the fitness industry,
like
you'll know what Gymshark is.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just that Nike touches everything. Anything sports related, they touch.
Yeah.
It could be soccer, it could be freaking golf.
Which is why I don't think Nike has that same feel of like a family that a lot of these other brands do.
That makes sense too, because it's just like a closer, tight knit community.
Yeah, I mean, no one's gonna stop you like, dude, you wearing Nike? That's freaking awesome. But that's because Nike's built such a big brand that it's just so normal now.
I think that's what a lot of brands want to be like sooner or later. That notoriety and that fucking like, you go anywhere in the world. Actually, I think they know what Nike is. Yeah,
I don't think there's anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah, me
I'm sure there's some people, but
they probably live in the freaking mountains, like for real. Like, they got no TV, no internet, no nothing. But that's kind of crazy, man. That's so when you're younger, right, and you stopped being, your dream of being a trainer was smashed. What did you want to be?
I was just following my, so corporate America is kind of my aunts, uncles. They're all accountants. Dad's a physician and stuff like that. So they're all kind of made decent money. What I thought was a lot of money at the time, but now it's like I don't even know how they could live off of that with a family. But that's just a perspective shift. Yeah, I mean, they're probably, I don't know, 200-300. Maybe some of them make $400,000 a year. I don't know. I thought that was like balling, like Rolls Royces, stuff like that. Even though none of them had that, I kind of thought of that money as like that. But then I just see like they were 50, still working this job, complaining. I'd hear them complain about work, but yeah, at the time I was kind of into the whole. I went back to the system and kind of like, okay, maybe I'll be an accountant or whatever. And
an accountant, bro.
Yeah. An accountant.
I'm not wrong with accountant. No, I don't want to say.
There's nothing. Yeah.
It's just like I'm just thinking. I just laugh because.
I mean, if you know me, and if you think.
Yeah,
like,
from that to
an accountant, like I can hardly sit in this chair right now.
That's some funny shit, bro. But I mean, it is what it is, right?
Yeah, but then I just shadowed her. I'm like, let me see what a day of work's look like. I followed my aunt around for a little bit, and then I like left home and like, Mom, can we get me? I'm done. Like,
I'm not doing this.
Yeah, this is terrible.
But it's crazy how like society puts these. I don't know if they put labels on these certain occupations and like they take away like, what the hell do I say? It's like the value of it is not worth it, right? Because you're not making a lot of money. Yeah. But then again, it's like the value in it is that you love what you fucking do, and I think the money will come anyway.
And that's a pretty new thing. I think the only people who really did that, like back in the day, like not many people in my grandpa's generation were talking like love what they do. That was very uncommon.
Okay.
It's become so much more common, I feel like, because they're just like happy they had a job, had this secure lifestyle, happy they could pay for a car, house, and stuff. And then I think just our generation values the freedom and kind of like your purpose more. Which my grandpa's purpose, like, to be fair, he did live he loves just waking. Like, he's retired now, but he still finds a way to be busy and stuff, and they all have their different. It's so different generations. Obviously, there were people back then who were like innovators.
Of course.
But those are like the 1%. But for the majority of people,
that's how it is now. Yeah. The 1% now, right? If you think about it.
But I think a lot of people, even now, I still think people get a little too caught up in the passion thing. Where they'll like be broke for so long because they're trying to do something they're passionate about to make the money, which your passion may not always make you the money, at least not right now.
Well, that's true too. That could happen. That's definitely
I didn't love sales. I mean, I still kind of don't like sales.
Yeah, but like you gotta find a way to make the ends meet, though, right?
Yeah, it's not like I'm super passionate about. Oh, I can't work this job because I'm not passionate about. Like if you're broke, you don't really have like That's like my biggest pet peeve when people are broke and then they're talking about how the job isn't their passion. I'm like, well, duh, it's not supposed to be.
Then everybody would be doing a fucking thing like that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, there's got to be some type of way that like you can do your passion and live a comfortable lifestyle, right?
Yeah.
There's gotta be. It's gonna happen sooner or later. And just like I said earlier,
Oh, yeah,
you just
for
gotta
sure.
do that shit, man. You gotta build that. You
Yeah.
gotta build that shit, and you gotta actually like believe in yourself that you could do this stuff.
Yeah.
Because once you hit that point, it's like, yo, it's on you. It's all on you. Like you have no one else to rely on but yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And some people like that, and it's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, it is.
It's a real tough pill to swallow, not for nothing, man. So, I mean, kudos to all the entrepreneurs out there because you guys are doing it on your own, like legit. Like there's no safety net, there's no 401k, there's no none of that. Like, you know,
Yeah.
you don't get hazard pay, you don't get shit. You know, so, you know, knowing that the risk is involved and you still go ahead and do that, man. Like, yo, that's just it deserves more credit than is given.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's why even whether you're successful or not, just aspiring to do that, I look up to you. Just because a lot of people don't even take that step, even thinking they want to do that.
How crazy is that?
Or maybe they'll want to do it and they're like, oh, I just see so many people. I didn't know this before the election, but so many people look at people and they're like just immediately write off like reasons of why they're successful and like in their head kind of rationalizing why they're there and they're not. They're like, they're there because they, I read a study, I think 80% of millennials believe that most millionaires, I think like 90% of millionaires inherit their wealth. Like most millennials literally believe that. So which is completely the opposite. It's true. I think it's only like maybe a little below 10% that inherit.
Below 10% inherit a million or inherit the millions.
Yeah.
Yo, that's crazy. That's a crazy fact. So that means 90% of millionaires right now.
They're self-made.
Fuck. Well, that's another fact y'all need to take into consideration.
And it's something around there. Don't take that fact. It's somewhere around there.
Okay, maybe not exact
don't
numbers,
quote me on it, but yeah, it's somewhere around there.
But even still, Kev.
Yeah.
That's a big fucking percentage. Even if it was 80%, even if it was 70% of the fucking millionaires are like self or ground up millionaires.
I think I learned that on like Dave Ramsey or something.
Yeah, at least.
I'll learn forever. I don't agree with a lot of Dave Ramsey's stuff, especially with his stuff with debt and stuff. I'll learn. I learn from everyone.
Okay, first of all, who's Dave Ramsey?
He's just a financial dude.
And then
mainly for like, his niche is mainly like definitely not entrepreneurs, but like people who just want to get out. Like the average American who's stupid with money is basically his niche.
Which is a lot of motherfucking people.
Yeah, it is. That's why he does great.
Shame.
Yeah.
But but I guess.
But he's like never have a credit card or anything like that ever because he just assumes most Americans, which is true, are idiots with money and will run up a credit card and it could really affect their financial life. And yeah.
I mean, that can happen.
Yeah, no.
But if you're disciplined enough.
I mean, I ran a credit card to 4,800.
Yeah, but like.
But it also helped me live.
But like you were young, you wasn't
Yeah.
you wasn't thinking about the repercussions of shit like that, no, right? So even that, with that being said, it's like it's I'm not saying it's inevitable, but that should be a learning experience.
Yeah.
Right.
I think just failing a lot when you're young is generally good. Like it sounds weird to say, but I mean it just means you're trying a lot of stuff.
And you should.
If you go through your teens and early 20s and you don't really fail that much, you probably haven't grown that much either.
Well, that's a thing, right? Like the whole concept of failure. People are so afraid of that, right?
Yeah.
And it drives them to not do anything.
Yeah, and I think it comes from too much in the moment thinking and not, expanding that to the bigger picture. Because in the moment you think, oh, it's gonna make me uncomfortable. You're not gonna like it. But then when you see like, okay, it's a necessary evil. You kind of have to.
No, it is a necessary evil, but you have to deal with that.
Yeah.
So at that point, it's like, like what are you gonna do? What are you gonna like? It goes back to the sacrifice, right? Mm-hmm. Like, what are you gonna fucking do?
Yeah.
It's crazy to me. Like, I rather fail and try to do something that I love than just be a robot or a drone or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you're self-aware enough, you know that if you take that other route, that you're gonna be unfulfilled, and ultimately you do fail. You know, you're gonna be unfulfilled. You're gonna have regrets and stuff. So.
No, because that's. I mean.
I think having the perspective that risk isn't even risk, because like the alternative is so shitty of a life. Like there isn't much risk there. It's like, okay, you risk and you either could make it, which if you put your all into it your whole life, you should be able to make something happen. But or their alternative and living like how you're. I mean, some people want to live that though, so you can't knock them for it. Some people want that secure job, which we need doctors.
But
we
ain't
need
no
all
such thing
that.
as secure job, man. Like you explained earlier. Like yo, you could be there for 30 years.
Yeah.
You're done.
Yeah.
After a fucking pandemic hits, you're done. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you put in your blood, sweat, and tears. It doesn't matter if you got family at home. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You're just another number. So, like, to my point, I'm like, yo, fuck it. Entrepreneur, fuck it. But it doesn't have to be, like you said, full entrepreneur. If you can't afford that shit, might as well fucking find some type of job that you kind of like. Fuck it, and do that shit too.
Yeah.
Something that could fucking pay the bills at least for the time being and fund your dream. That's crazy, man.
Not everyone. I think everyone's after freedom. You don't even have to. This is not talked about. You don't have to be an entrepreneur to have financial freedom at all.
Okay, there you go.
I mean, you just be good with your money and stuff like that. Like some people probably won't like having their own business because all the stress that comes with it and like I don't know. Some people just aren't wired that way, but they're still gonna want the freedom, of course. So I mean, everyone's different. Everyone has a different path. As long as you're aware enough to it, of what your strengths are.
But that's a big truth too. Like you said, it totally makes sense. Like you want to be the boss, right? You want to own things, but then you gotta be dealing with owner problems. You gotta deal with boss problems. You gotta deal with all that shit. And I get it, because a lot of I guess I'll just say employees at the time or now, like they don't understand what the boss is going through, or owner is going through, or entrepreneur is going through, because they don't have to deal with those type of stresses. We don't have to deal with those type of fucking problems. So it's kind of crazy, yo. It's just crazy that the perspective could be skewed so quickly, so fast.
Yeah.
You know? But damn, so if you're saying that you're working this solar job and you're doing this entrepreneur stuff, when do you feel that you're gonna have to, when it's okay for you to stop doing solar?
I think it's just when that time becomes needed. So like right now, those 4 hours a day, I don't need it to build this right now. Okay. I don't need it. 4 hours, it's not a big deal. But once that 4 hours really is needed, and I really need that time to, do whatever it is that I need to do. I mean, right now, if I had the 4 hours, I wouldn't really be doing anything to build the business,
No, I understand. No, that makes sense. That makes sense.
So once that comes, which, I think this year it does have a chance of hitting 7 figures this year, and that will
this year?
be when I quit.
Or 2021? Oh wait.
2021, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, not 2020.
Hell yeah! I'm like, oh damn, I need to do another podcast episode in like the next 2 months with this guy then. Shit.
But yeah, I've been running through systems, and then I also have one of the top trainers in San Diego, big time bodybuilder, like trains all the Mr. Olympias and stuff. Mm-hmm. He doesn't really know how to do online, and I'm talking to him. We met Mark collab, and he may come on to the coaching side of the company.
That's awesome.
If that happens, that would be really big because we can leverage his entire everything he's built.
Oh, like his network. Yeah.
His whole, his everything is done. Olympias, all this stuff. He's a really amazing coach. He just hasn't really kind of older school, doesn't really understand the online as much. So it's like a perfect kind of partnership. Yeah. Because I understand the online really well, and he doesn't. So I think that'll work out pretty well.
But that's dope that you combine like your forces. Like he knows that, and you know this. So like right now it's just like the tag teams that they're doing.
And regardless, I think we can get 7 figures either way. It's just with him, it would be a lot quicker, I think.
That's fucking dope.
He already has a gym. He has a store in a gym, which he's already gonna let the clothing be at his store in the gym, which is at the gym in PV. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's on Garnett.
What's the name of the gym?
The Gym. That's what it's called.
That's pretty simple. The Gym, guys. See that? Like you're doing something right. You could just like call it The Gym.
Yeah. No, he has a really cool culture there. I mean, he has his store is in that gym. He's not the.
So he has a store. What kind of store?
He has a supplement store in the gym. So he doesn't own the gym.
Okay.
He owns a supplement store that's in the gym.
Oh wow, that's crazy. So
Yeah,
basically, he's sponsored by the gym then. I
Pretty
guess
much.
you could say.
Yeah. So he has all that foot traffic. That's just organic and stuff. Just cool.
No, that is fucking fire. Yo, I mean that's so like ultimately so like your brand as a I don't know, you want to call it a trainer or coach? What do you want to
Coach.
call yourself? Coach, okay.
Yeah, trainer. I just think trainer is a kind of in person. That's what I think of when I think of trainer.
Do you ever want to end up being a trainer?
In person, no.
Okay, so so even when shit gets normal after this COVID stuff, no
I'll
trainer?
never want to do it in person. I guess, no.
But the clothing definitely still.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be
The
physical. You
clothing.
have an actual store.
I get
with
more
that.
excited about the clothing. I mean, I get more excited about the clothing just because I want to build that brand and go to fitness expos, and that's the life I want to live. Coaching is cool too. Coaching is a lot like quicker. I'd say it's quicker. It's for sure quicker cash flow. It would take me $30 a t-shirt. I think it's like 30 shirts to make up for one client, which is $1,000. So 30 shirts or one client. I mean, it takes
Hell yeah,
short term. It's
dude.
gonna take more work to do the shirts, but long term, I think it's gonna be more beneficial.
But then again, okay, there you go. Fuck it. I guess that's the way to go, man. So, yo, that's crazy.
And it takes a while. I mean, it took me 3 months to get this shirt, so it's like just communication that I can't speed up. I just send a couple messages throughout each day, and that's it. That's what the process of it is, and that's the reality of it. It's not like if I had 4 extra hours that would help.
So would you ever consider like making
Right now.
stuff like like yourself, kind of like, or like
Make what?
like the shirts or I don't know, whatever. Well, your apparel in general.
Well, I mean, it's custom. I'm not gonna ever sew anything myself,
Oh.
but no, it is custom. It's the similar manufacturer, same manufacturer.
Uh-huh.
They all use tons of manufacturers, but it's one of the
Yeah.
main ones that Alphalete and Gymshark use.
Okay. Shit, that's fucking dope. That's fucking dope. Would you ever get into like other things in the fitness
Everything.
industry?
Everything that has to do with fitness, I want to be involved in.
Yeah, like protein,
Gyms, supplements.
Uh-huh. Equipment. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Ultimately, I want to make the best gym in the U.S. Just like where no one could even like argue that it's.
All right. So
not.
before we close out, like, what would be the thing in your gym that would separate your gym from all of the gyms and say this is why it's the best gym?
I don't think it's going to be one single thing, but I think just one, it's
okay.
going to be the biggest gym in the U.S.
Oh, goddamn.
So there's a gym in Kuwait that I'm kind of like looking at that I kind of
Kuwait?
want to in Kuwait. So
Okay.
it's where bodybuilders literally get shipped off to, and they do nothing but bodybuild, and they breed
Like a
bodybuilders.
shit there, like a boot camp.
Yeah,
gym?
seriously, they breed bodybuilders. So it's a huge facility. Think of the biggest gym you know, and that's only arm equipment. They have every piece of equipment that's ever been manufactured by every
That
single
sounds fucking
company.
expensive, dude.
Oh, it is. Oh yeah, no, this is
Alright.
the company's
So
gonna yeah.
Now you know that going in then.
Oh,
to be
yeah.
the best gym on fucking
Yeah.
earth, you're gonna have to be
Yeah,
fucking.
and I'm not looking to even like as long as we break even. For the gym, if we break even, that'll create such. I mean, it's gonna be stupid expensive. I mean,
I don't know. It sounds like it.
Like over probably 50 million, probably. I don't know. If I had to guess, I mean, I've seen.
A gym for 50 million? That's like a building.
Well, that's
like
if you buy the
fucking-
building, but say I'm gonna also have a commercial real estate company, and it's gonna be my building, so that's also a separate investment.
That
So-
makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, so
I mean,
there's a lot of stuff.
I
mean,
like where your head's at. I like that. I
everything.
respect that.
Yeah, I mean, I have it drawn out, and I revisit that vision every week, and like, yeah, for first 10 years, probably I ain't gonna do anything other than fitness. Like I'm gonna do the solar now. Solar, I'll probably be able to quit in the next 1-2 years, whenever it makes sense. And then it's just fitness, and then once fitness, yeah, it's just whenever it makes sense. If I build enough systems to where I don't need to be involved, and then I can go do other things. That's just what I've learned. I think the biggest thing I just learned that speed ramped my process is I invested, like I said, over the last little bit, probably over, I don't know, like 35,000 in a mastermind for 2 years, with some very high level people. I don't know if you know Peter Voogd or Mark Lack. I think you do. You know? But yeah, there's some big time entrepreneurs. They're all making over $1 million a month. Almost everyone in there. Well, actually, no. Every single person in there when I joined was a multimillionaire, and I was the only person who wasn't. And I was 20 years old when I joined. So that's
dope.
the best
Surround
investment I
yourself
ever
with the type of
made.
people like that.
I had $5,050, and no. So the first event, it wasn't for the whole year. First event was $5,000 for a single event, I had $5,000 and like, I don't know, $5,100 maybe. So I spent it. Everyone, my parents, oh my gosh, they yelled at me.
Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're willing to take that sacrifice because that's an investment.
Yeah, and they're like, they're scamming you. I'm like, I just understood. Like, they're exactly where I want to be. They're like...
I hope they didn't scam you. Fuck, you were broke.
See, they're not going to ever say that about college, though. You paid $5,000 for a semester.
Because that's the idea. Like, it goes back to the idea. That was a fucking... That's the only meal ticket out of anywhere, right? That was it. Yeah. But you know what? Fuck that. It's dope to hear, man. It's crazy to say that you were broke at one point and now you're not broke.
Oh, I haven't even gone into that. I've been broke and not. I've made myself broke. So I mean, I wouldn't say I made myself. I had situations that, well, yeah.
Could have went other way.
Everything's my responsibility. But yeah, I've been broke. Like, made a lot of money, got broke like probably 3 different times.
But I like how you take the
last November, this time of year, last year. Roommates dipped out on me for a $4,000 a month apartment. They just left, and I didn't want to pay the rest, so I had to break the lease, which cost me $12,000. Which I had $2,000 at the time, and it cost me $12,000. Otherwise, it's going to be locked in, and I'll be paying for all of them for like 12 more months or 11 more months. So I couldn't do that because that's like $48,000. So then I had to leverage my network, which is the people that I invested with, called them up, like told them the situation, like, look, I can pay you back with interest, I just need this money, and I was able to get the $12,000 in 2 days. So that's awesome. Like that's when, you know, when your back's against the wall.
Yeah, your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
That's a perfect fucking example. But like,
yeah, they have your back.
They would have never had your back if you weren't a stand-up guy and like like, you know what I'm saying, like, because
they actually
if you were a shitty dude and you said some shit like that, you're like, nah, you're out. You're definitely on the street. Like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, and I'm sure going forward, if you know, obviously, I'll, you know, especially when I'm in the position to help them with whatever they need, I would call that Goodwill bank account. They're definitely in my Goodwill bank account.
That's dope. That's fucking fire. That's fucking fire. So, closing remarks. Anything you want to say to entrepreneurs? Anybody in the industry for fitness, or even solar panels?
I just think the most important thing is taking it, like just doing it, whether you know how to do it or not, and then just learning. It's the quickest way. Just take action, get some educated questions yourself. So I just do it on your own in the beginning for a little bit, not very long. And then that way you have an educated set of questions to ask. So then when you go talk to people who have been doing it, you actually have an educated sets of questions, because if you talk to someone and you haven't even really done it, you're not really going to know the questions to ask.
That's true.
But if you've been trying to do it, like I did it with e-com, I also did it with the fitness business, and I was trying to do it on my own for the first couple weeks, I now knew what questions I had to ask them. But yeah, I mean, it's just take action and then ask people who are already where you want to be in that specific business as far as building your own business. But yeah.
Yo, make the moves and surround yourself with the right people.
Yeah, and investing in yourself, that's the main thing. My mindset transitioned so much in such a short amount of time, because I paid a lot of money to, and it was worth it. And it was worth it to be around those people. You just, when you're around them, you think like them, and now they're, you know, I'm best friends with them.
It's embedded in your mind now.
Now basically every friend that I associate with is a multi-billionaire or very close to being one.
So that means sooner or later you're gonna be joining the ranks.
Exactly. So,
how's
the cut looking?
Hell yeah.
I mean,
we good. Yeah. How's that look, man?
Looks good.
Nice. Chopping It Up, episode, what the fuck is this again? 5. Peace out, guys.
See ya.